Hello, my dear friends. I welcome you to the initiative of Next IAS of current affair discussion regarding the subject of history, art, and culture. So, today we will discuss the topics from 1st of March to the 7th of March. The topics for today's discussion are Mannathu Padmanabhan, Jagannath Heritage Corridor Project, Veer Chirlai Divas, National Mission on Pilgrimage, Rejuvenation and Spiritual Heritage Augmentation Drive. In short form, we call it Prashad and Dandi March. Friends, as you all know that you cannot mug up all the things. So you have to remember tips and tricks, right? You have to use tips and tricks. So the Prashad initiative, as we all know, the Prashad is given for the temple. So by that you can remember it that it is for religious tourism. It is for promotion of religious tourism. And as it promotes religious tourism, so that is it will come under the Ministry of Tourism. Okay, so please remember this thing. This is a very simple fact regarding Ministry of Tourism. Okay, let's move on and see what is the content under Mannathu Padmanabhan. Why was he in news? If you see his death anniversary, it was in 1970. He died in 1970. So in 2021, recently means like in 20 rather I will say 2020, we have recently celebrated his 50th death anniversary. So that is why he becomes very much important for your current affairs. Now, what is his legacy? Please remember that he was a great freedom fighter and social reformer. He is associated with the Vacuum Satyagraha and Nair Service Society. If he is Nair, by the surname itself you can judge that he must be from Kerala, which is absolutely correct. Okay. Please remember this Vacuum Satyagraha is very much important. Context is Mannathu Padmanabhan's approximately 50th death anniversary. Okay. Please remember this thing. Acha, what was Vacuum Satyagraha? So Vacuum Satyagraha was an anti-touchability movement in South India. Please remember it was an anti-touchability movement in South India, specifically in Kerala. It was around the Sri Mahadev temple. Please remember it was near Sri Mahadev temple. Apart from that, you can also remember that it was run for 1 year. And another personality who was very much in support of Vacuum Satyagraha was Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, please remember this thing that Mahatma Gandhi was also in support of Vacuum Satyagraha. Then the next movement is Guruvayur Temple Entry Satyagraha. So it was in 1931. As you all know that South India was very much famous for its untouchability agitations. Okay, so please remember these things. Apart from these legacies, he was also a member of INC in 1946 and he took part against the Sir C.P. Ramaswamy Iyer's administration in Travancore. Sir C.P. Ramaswamy was a loyalist person. Loyalist means loyal of British Empire. Okay, so he was a British loyalist and he was Diwan of Travancore. Remember, he was Diwan of Travancore, and he was also known for his repressive policies towards communist agenda. Okay? He was very repressive against communist. Apart from that, if you see, he also was the first president of Travancore Dev Som board, and he helped in revitalizing many temples. He also received Padma Bhushan award in 1966. But the main thing over here you should focus is Vacuum Satyagraha. Please remember that he was one of the leaders, prime leaders of the Vacuum Satyagraha, which was anti-touchability movement of South India, and it was in the state of Travancore. At that time, Kerala was called Travancore. Please remember this thing that this was related to Travancore. Next topic is Jagannath Heritage Corridor Project. Please remember this Jagannath temple is in Puri, which is in Odisha. I hope you all know that it is a very famous pilgrimage site, and Jagannath means the one which cannot Jagaknath. Sorry, I am really sorry. Jagannath means the one who rules over the world. So here if you will see, you know that the wood sculpture is there. Wood idols are worshipped. Okay, the idols are made up of wood. It is also known as Puri Shri Mandir Parikrama Yojana. Please remember this Jagannath Heritage Corridor project, which has been launched, is also known as Puri Shri Mandir Parikrama Yojana. Okay. Apart from that, Odisha is also famous for Golden Triangle. Please remember, Odisha is also famous for Golden Triangle. I am writing it like triangle. I am making triangle. You too can make it in notes, but please do not use this word in UPSC mains exam. Golden Triangle is related to Hindu circuit, Hindu pilgrimage circuit. The three major temples in this Golden Triangle are Puri, Konark, and Bhubaneswar. Konark, you already know that it is Sun Temple, which is also called Black Pagoda. Okay. Puri Temple, Jagannath Temple, or you can say, is called White Pagoda. Okay. Please remember that Jagannath Temple is called J and T. I am writing it as, and it is called White Pagoda. Okay. And what is the name of Sun Temple of Konark? It is Black Pagoda. Please remember it is called Black Pagoda. Bhubaneswar is famous for the Lingaraj Temple. Bhubaneswar is famous for Lingaraj Temple, which is again your Shiva Temple. Okay? Achha. Let me delete it completely so that I can continue with our original discussion regarding Jagannath Heritage Corridor project. Okay, so please remember Jagannath Heritage Project is also known as Puri Shri Mandir Parikrama Yojana. Under it, entire area with 75 meters around the temple will be transformed into heritage corridor to attract devotees. See, these nuances are very general and will be rarely asked by our UPSC, but still you can have just a look at the data. Estimated cost, no need to even mug up. This is not of any utility, but please pay attention on the Jagannath architecture, Kalinga architecture or Jagannath architecture. You all might be knowing that Kalinga architecture is a subset of Nagara style architecture. It is a subset of Nagara style. So what is the difference? The key difference over here are, first one is Duela. We call it Rekha Duela, Pidha Duela and Khakra Duela. Apart from that, you will also find water tank in Kalinga architecture, which is missing in Nagara style. Please remember these small facts, because on these facts only the questions are framed. Also, there is one diamond triangle in Odisha which is associated with Buddhist circuit. Please remember this is also associated with Buddhist circuit, and acronym for the places is URL: Udaygiri, Ratnagiri and Lalitgiri. So please remember these facts. The three objectives of the project Jagannath Heritage Corridor project are security of temple, safety of devotees and creation of spiritual atmosphere. Jagannath Puri temple, you know that it is Vaishnav site. It is Vaishnav site means Vishnu is worshipped. Vishnu in the sense Krishna, Subhadra and Balbhadra. All these are wooden idols. Please remember this is wooden idol. And you all know once the Jagannath Rath starts, it cannot be stopped. It was made by Anant Varman of Chod Ganga dynasty. It is sometimes also referred as Ganga dynasty. Please don't get confused and don't mark it wrong if it is only written Ganga dynasty. Sometimes this Chod Ganga dynasty is also called Ganga dynasty, and the king's name was Anant Varman. Please remember this thing. And rest all the details I don't think are as important for our prelims, but please remember this White Pagoda, which I have already discussed. In 1975, Archaeological Survey of India undertook a project to remove multiple layers of lime plaster to uncover original designs beneath, displaying natural colors of Khondalite stones. So please remember that original temple was made up of Khondalite stone. Please remember that this thing, because UPSC is often asking question about the type of material used in different temples and monuments. So please remember that Khondalite stone was used over here. Okay, moving ahead, there is Rath Yatra and Bahuda Yatra. So you can remember both the names. Apart from that, the next topic is Veer Chilrai Divas. Veer Chilrai Divas. Please remember him. He is from northeast India, from Assam to be precise, and he was great general. He was a great general from Koch dynasty. Please remember Koch royal dynasty. He was a great general from Koch royal dynasty, and the kingdom's name was Kamata kingdom. Okay? Please remember this thing, that he was from Koch dynasty of Kamata kingdom. Okay? Okay, no need to remember this whether his birthday is on Purnima, Magh month, and all those things. But yeah, it is very much important because Assam government has launched a award, bravery award, in his honor, है ना? So this bravery award is given for given to individuals for their bravery, ठीक है? It is given to individuals. Another person who is very well known for his bravery from Assam is Lachit Borphukan. If you are interested, please do read about him. Lachit Borphukan. One award is given in his name by our NDA, ठीक है? NDA Academy, just military you can say, ठीक है? Armed forces also give award in Lachit Borphukan's name. Okay, both are different person, please do not confuse. Chalrai was known as Kite Prince, ठीक है? Kite Prince means he was very swiftly attacking, just like kite. He was very swift in his attacks. He had speed like kite, चील जिसको हम हिंदी में कहते हैं, ठीक है? And he died of smallpox on the bank of Ganges. Doesn't matter much for us, but definitely he was a very great fighter of India. So you should pay due respect to him, ठीक है? And he is approximate. Also, you can remember that he was from 16th of century. Okay, and why he is important? Because again, you see, 1515 AD. 1515 AD means now it is already approximately 450 years, ठीक है? National Mission on Pilgrimage, Rejuvenation and Spiritual Heritage, Drive Prashad. I have already told that this is for promoting religious tourism and it is launched by Ministry of Tourism. It was launched in 2014 and 15. If you are want to very specific knowledge, ठीक है? Integrated development of identified pilgrimage and heritage destinations. Objective, you all can understand: rejuvenate pilgrimage and spiritual experience of tourism through availability of well-planned tourism, infrastructure enabling tourist convenience. Obviously, these are very generalistic, है ना? So please try to eliminate the options based on generalistic term, because you cannot remember each and every objective. We should notice, definitely we should notice if anything is very much peculiar about that. Okay, so let us move ahead. Obviously, implementation will be via state and UT government, है ना? So that is not that much important. Again, moving towards the last topic, that is Dandi March. It is very, very much important because recently our Prime Minister has also launched, along with Dandi March, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, है ना? And definitely in 2022 we will be celebrating our 75 years of independence. So there are grand plans of there are 75 weeks remaining in the upcoming celebration, है ना? So Dandi March, which is also known as Salt Satyagrah, was the first event of CDM. CDM, you all know that it was Civil Disobedience Movement, launched in 1930, and this Dandi March marked the beginning of this movement. Okay, so what was just before that Gandhiji decided to launch Dandi March. Obviously, just before that, what came? If you remember it correctly, Indian National Congress decided to upgrade its aim to attain the full, complete independence. Okay, 1929. Yeah, here you can see Dandi March was launched to attain the target of Purna Swaraj. Please remember, Purna Swaraj was the target as per Congress resolution of 1929. Even before this, if you go, there was Simon Commission, in which there was no Indian. There was challenge by Britishers to Indians that you cannot even frame your own constitution. So that is why all the nationalists were very angry with the Britishers. Okay, so definitely INC declared that we want complete independence in 1929, and then Gandhiji gave 11 demands to British Viceroy, to which he didn't pay any heed. Acha, what was the most peculiar feature about the 11-point demands? That it also included, although Gandhiji was non-violent in his approach, still he demanded license for arms. ठीक है, license for arms. Arms means जो बंदूक रखने के लिए, जो हथियार रखने के लिए लाइसेंस होता है, इसके लिए इन्होंने डिमांड किया था. ठीक है, तो इन 11 डिमांड्स में he had one demand which was related to license to Indians for arms, for keeping arms. ठीक है, तो ये आपको एक बहुत peculiar लग सकता है. बाकी जो डिमांड्स थी, they were very generalistic, like abolish CID, ठीक है, सेंट्रल इन्वेस्टिगेशन डिपार्टमेंट, देन अबॉलिश सॉल्ट टैक्स, then adjust the rupee to sterling ratio, then also reduce the land revenue, and similar there were very release all the political prisoners. So like that there were very generalistic demand, but the very peculiar one which in which you may get confused is license for arms, license for Indians to keep arms. ठीक है, अच्छा, Gandhiji started non-violent march from Sabarmati ashram on 12th March 1930. He traveled 21 places. Please remember, he traveled to 21 places and over 390 kilometers, and he reached Dandi on 5th April 1930. Please remember that he traveled to 21 different places over 390 kilometers, and he finally reached the Dandi on 5th April 1930. Just before the start of this movement, Gandhiji also published one article named Duty of Disloyalty in his issue of Young India. Young India, you already know that it was published by Gandhiji only, and in Duty of Disloyalty, he called upon the citizens to take actively participate in this Dandi March, so that Britishers could be reminded of their irresponsible taxes and rule, है ना, it was just like un-British rule. ठीक है, अच्छा, Gandhi, Nehru, etc. were arrested on breaking salt law. अच्छा, why did he chose the salt as the symbol? Because the salt was the only one of the things which is consumed by everyone, whether it is poor, whether it is rich, or anyone. So salt law affected all equally. That is why Gandhiji was very much sharp in choosing the topics for protest. ठीक है, that is why salt was chosen as symbol, because it appealed to all the sections of society. Whether you are rich, whether you are poor, you have to eat salt. Obviously you have to eat salt. Salt appealed to masses, as repressive salt law prohibited Indians from processing and manufacturing salt. National Salt Satyagrah Memorial has been set up at Dandi by Gujarat government to celebrate the event. Please remember, there is National Salt Satyagrah Memorial at Dandi. Okay, apart from that, let us also discuss few leaders of CDM, Civil Disobedience Movement, along with their contribution. So you all know that C. Rajagopalachari was the leader of Congress from Southern India. Southern India means specifically Tamil Nadu. Okay? He was very much famous in Tamil Nadu, and he has also led Salt Satyagraha, which was called Vedaranyam in Tanjore, to the Tanjore coast. Okay? Please remember that who led the salt march in southern India, specifically Tamil Nadu? C. Rajagopalachari. Similar is Keralian Gandhi. Keralian Gandhi is K. Kelappan. Please remember, Keralian Gandhi is K. Kelappan. Okay? He launched Vakom Satyagraha Salt March. Okay? He is also associated with Vakom movement, and he launched Vakom Satyagraha Salt March. Just few moments back, we have read about Vakom, another person who was related to Vakom Satyagraha, who led Vakom Satyagraha. Please name him in the comment section, and by that you can also recall his name also. Okay. P. Krishna Pillai, he defended the national flag and resisted Lathi charge on Calicut beach on November 11, 1930. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, he is also known as Frontier Gandhi. Please remember, he is also known as Frontier Gandhi. He made a clan of Khudai Khidmatgars, or also known as Red Shirt movement. He started Red Shirt movement. Okay? So this was also non-violent revolutionaries. He was also known as Frontier Gandhi. Then came Sarojini Naidu, who was later on made CM or governor of UP. Just confirm it once. Okay? And she is also called Kokila of India. Kokila means Koyal. Okay? She was the first Indian woman to become president of Congress. March towards Dharsana salt work. So she led the march towards Dharsana salt work. Please remember this thing. And Dharsana had a government salt depot. Another leaders who participated in this totally non-violent affair were Imam Sahib. Imam Sahib was the comrade, Gandhi's comrade from South Africa. Please remember, he was from South Africa. Gandhi's comrade from South Africa. Okay. Apart from that, there was another person who came with Sarojini Naidu. He was Mani Lal. Mani Lal was Gandhi's son. Mani Lal was Gandhi's son. Okay. This is available there. Manilal's name is available in PDF. You can definitely download it from there. Due to some unforeseen circumstances, these kind of things have happened. Then came Surya Sen. You know that he was a Congress person as well as revolutionary. So he led Chittagong Revolt Group. He led Chittagong Revolt Group and raided two armories and declared establishment of provincial government. He established a provisional and provincial government, okay, in the Chittagong. He issued a manifesto in the name of Indian Republic Army. So Indian Republic Army के नाम पे इन्होंने एक manifesto भी release कर दिया था और called on Indians to revolt against the British rule. Then came Abbas Tayyibji. He was leader of nationalist Muslims in Bombay. Please remember that it was pan-national, pan-religious and pan-gender. ठीक है, मतलब it was like it encompassed all the identities. Ambalal Sarabhai, he was the leader of businessman. Apart from Ambalal Sarabhai, he was also supported by Kastur Bhai Lakhai. Kastur Bhai Lakhai was also a businessman, and they both cooperated with Motilal Nehru in removing barriers between Congress and Bombay mill owners and industrialists. The last two which I felt important are Chandraprabha Sakatani and M.N. Roy. Okay. Apart from these two, there were many more leaders who took part and made the CDM a grand amalgamation of awakened Indians. So definitely you should know and respect the legacies of our ancestors. With this, we end our lecture for today. Thank you, and keep preparing for UPSC, which is soon to come.